Violence is on the increase. We have heard a lot in the news lately of violence against women. One wonders if this is a new trend or if it is raising its ugly head more nowadays because society is speaking up against it more, or because there is more reporting by the media, resulting in more criminal charges being laid. Whatever the reason, this is a blight on our society that needs to be eradicated immediately. There has to be zero tolerance to any form of violence. Sadly, violence is not only directed towards women, but also children and men. Often men are assaulted by women, and this is not reported for various reasons, including that it is supposedly humiliating for a man to admit that he was assaulted by a woman, or disbelief that he could have been assaulted by a woman. There are these sorts of stereotypes. But the message is that all forms of violence need to be eradicated. Recently, in a divorce matter, my client wanted to film her husband who had come to collect their toddler without a baby car seat. This concern had been raised on previous occasions with his attorney, but he denied it. So this time our client wanted to get proof. But when he saw her videoing what was happening, he jumped out of the car and lunged at her, slapping the phone onto the ground and cracking the screen, and also scratching her hand in the process. She wasn't badly injured, it was just a scratch, but it is irrelevant how minor an injury is. It is still assault, it is still violence, it is still aggression, and it is still unacceptable. Not too long ago, I had a very serious case of assault GBH, that's grievous bodily harm. Our client was driven by her elderly father to her friend's mother's house to collect some of her possessions. There was a lot of underlying acrimony and bitterness with her friend's mother's partner. Anyway, words were exchanged, one thing led to another, with this younger man assaulting our client's father. He punched him while he was sitting in his car, and when her father got out of the car, this man slammed the door on his legs and carried on beating him while he was on the ground. It really was a terrible assault and left him with severe bruises and swellings. And at one point, he even lost consciousness. If that wasn't bad enough, when the matter was reported at the police station, our client and her father discovered that there was a criminal charge of assault against them. Now the victims were the villains. I had to work through all the witness statements and all the facts, and was able to show that his charge was fabricated, that he did not suffer any injuries, which was supported by the police officer and some witnesses. The state withdrew the charges against my client and her father. The point is that violence is rife and needs to be tackled with all our strength and resolve. The other thing to be careful of is that of counter charges to try to minimize the perpetrator's crime. This is more common than one might imagine. If you need help with dealings with any criminal matters, I can support you and help you achieve justice. We all need to stand together against violence and against all crime.